Good evening, YouTube. Welcome to Shelley's World #1. This is my series, hopefully, on my Bible study. You may hear my bird talking, but we'll just deal with it and not worry about it. Uh, I am going to read to you from the Adventure Bible. We are going to read about creation, and then we'll get a verse. I've done got the verse, and we're going to do who, what, when, where, why, and how. And that's what we're going to do for the study. So let's get. And I'm also going to read the commentary in the Life Application Bible. Let's get going. The beginning. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth didn't have any shape, and it was empty. Darkness was over the surface of the ocean. At that time, the ocean covered the earth. The Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw the light, and it was good. He separated the light from the day, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day. He called the darkness night. There was evening and there was morning. It was day 1. God said, "Let there be a huge space between the waters. Let it separate the water from the water." And that's exactly what happened. God made the huge space between the waters. He separated the water that was under the space from the water that was above it. God called the huge space sky. There was evening and there was morning. It was day 2. God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered into one place. Let dry ground appear," and that's exactly what happened. God called the dry ground land. He called the waters that were gathered together oceans. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the land produce plants, let them bear their own seeds, and let there be trees on the land that bear fruit with seeds in it. Let each kind of plant or tree have its own kind of seeds." And that's exactly what happened. The land produced plants. Each kind of plant had its own kind of seeds. And the land produced trees and that bore fruit with seeds in it. Each kind of tree had its own kind of seed. God saw that it was good, and there was evening and there was morning. It was day 3. God said, "Let there be lights in the huge space of the sky. Let them separate the day from the night. Let them serve as signs to mark off the season and the days and the years. Let them serve as lights in huge space of the sky to give light on the earth." And that's exactly what happened. God made 2 great lights. He made the larger light to rule over the day. He made the smaller light to rule over the night. He also made the stars. God put the lights in the huge space of the sky to give light on the earth. He put them there to rule over the day and the night. He put them there to separate light from darkness. God saw that it was good, and there was evening and there was morning. It was day 4. God said, let the waters be filled with living things. Let birds fly above the earth across the huge space of the sky." So God created the great creatures of the ocean. He created every living and moving thing that fills the waters. He created all kinds of them. He created every kind of bird that flies, and God saw that it was good. God blessed them. He said, "Have little ones and increase your numbers. Fill the waters in the ocean. Let there be more and more birds on the earth." There was evening and there was morning. It was day 5. God said, let the land produce all kinds of living creatures. Let there be livestock and creatures that move along the ground. Wild animals, let there be all kinds of them. And that's exactly what happened. God made all kinds of wild animals. He made all kinds of livestock. He made all kinds of creatures that move along the ground. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, let us make man in our likeness. Let them rule over the fish in the waters and the birds in the air. Let them rule over the livestock and over the whole earth. Let them rule over all the creatures that move along the ground. So God created man in his own likeness. He created him in the likeness of God. He created them male and female. God blessed them. He said to them, have children and increase your numbers. Fill the earth and bring it under your control. Rule over the fish in the waters and the birds of the air. Rule over every living creature that moves on the ground. Then God said, I am giving you every plant on the face of the whole earth that bears its own seeds. I am giving you every tree that has fruit with seeds in it. All of them will be given to you for food. I am giving every green plant to you. I am giving every green plant to all of the land animals and the birds of the air for food. I am also giving the plants to all the creatures that move on the ground. I am giving them to every living thing that breathes. And that's exactly what happened. And God saw everything he had made, and it was very good. There was evening and there was morning. It was day 6. So the heavens and the earth and everything in them were completed. By the 7th day God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the 7th day he rested from all his work. God blessed the 7th day and made it holy. He rested on it after he had created everything. He rested from all the work he had done. That's tonight's reading. Now we're going to go to Life Application Bible and see the commentary in it. Oops, I've got it upside down. Excuse me. It says, for verse 1:1, it says, the simple statement that God created the heavens and the earth is one of the most challenging concepts confronting the modern mind. The vast galaxy we live in is spinning at the incredible speed of 49,100 miles an hour. But even at this breakneck speed, our galaxy still needs 200 million years to make one rotation. And there are over 1 billion other galaxies in the universe. It has been said that the number of stars in creation is equal to the grains of all the sands on all the beaches of the world. Yet this complex sea of spinning stars functions with remarkable order and efficiency. To say the universe just happens requires more faith than to believe that God is behind this amazing statistics. God truly did create a wonderful universe. God did not need to create the universe. He chose to create it. Why? God is love. And love is best expressed towards something or someone else. So God created the world and the people as an expression of his love. Don't reduce God's creation to merely scientific terms and forget that God created the universe because he loves us. The creation story teaches us much about God and ourselves. First, we learn about God. He is creative. As the creator, he is distinct from his creation. He is eternal and in control of the world. Second, we learn about ourselves. Since God chose to create us, we are valuable in his eyes. We are given a place above the animals. Did God create the world? So, if so, how did he do it? This is still subject of great debate. Some say that it was a sudden explosion, the universe appeared. Others say God got it all started and the rest evolved over billions of years. Almost every ancient religion has its own story to explain how the world came to be, and almost every scientist has an opinion on the origin of the universe. But only the Bible shows the supreme God creating the earth out of his great love and giving all people a special place in it. We will never know all the answers to how God created the world, but the Bible tells us that God did create it. That fact alone gives worth and dignity to all people. Verse 1-2, the commentary for it. Who created God? To ask that question, we have to assume that there was another creator before God. At some time, however, we are forced to stop asking that question and realize that there had to be something that has always existed. God is that infinite being who has always been and who was created by no one. This is difficult to understand because finite means cannot comprehend. The infinite, for example, we can try to think of the highest number, but we can't do it. Likewise, we must not limit the infinite God by our finite understanding. The image of the Spirit of God moving over the waters is similar to a bird caring for and protecting its young. God's Spirit was actively involved in creation of the world. 1:3 through 2:7. How long did it take God to create the world? There are two basic views about the days of creation. Each day was a literal 24-hour period. Each day represents an indefinite period of time, even millions of years. The Bible does not say which theory is true. The real question, however, is how long God took. Is not how long God took, but how he did it. God created the world in an orderly fashion. He did not make plants before life. He created man and woman as unique beings capable of communication with him. No other part of creation can claim that remarkable privilege. The important point is not how long it took God to create the world, but that he created it just the way he wanted it. God saw that his work was good and he was pleased. People sometimes feel guilty for having a good time or for feeling good about an accomplishment. This need not be the case. Just as God was pleased with his work, we can be pleased with ours. However, we cannot be pleased with our work if God would not be pleased with it. What are you doing that pleases both you and God? Why does God use plural form, let us make man in our image? One view says that this is a reference to the Trinity, God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. Another view is that the plural word is used to denote majesty. Kings traditionally use the plural form in speaking of themselves. Okay, that was 126. And this is another one in 126. What ways are we made in God's image? God obviously did not create us exactly like himself, especially in a physical sense. Instead, we are reflections of God's glory. God is sinless, eternal, and unlimited. Although we are given the potential to be sinless and eternal, we are also given the choice to fall short. How we will never be totally like God because he is our supreme creator. Our best hope is to reflect his character in our love, patience, forgiveness, kindness, and faithfulness. Knowing that we are made in God's image and thus share many of his characteristics provides a solid basis for self-worth Human worth is not defined by possessions, achievements, physical attractiveness, or public acclaim. Instead, it comes from being made in God's image. Because we are like God, we can feel positive about ourselves. Knowing that you are a person of infinite worth gives you the freedom to love God, know Him personally, and make a valuable contribution to those around you. 127. God made both man and woman in His image. Neither man nor woman is made more in the image of God than the other. From the beginning, the Bible places both man and woman at the pinnacle of creation. Neither sex is exalted, and neither is depreciated. To have dominion over something is to have absolute authority and control over it. God has ultimate dominion over the earth, and He exercises authority with loving care. When God delegated some of His authority to human race, He expected us to take responsibility for the environment and the other creatures that inhabit the planet. We must not be careless as we fulfill His charge. Like the Creator, we should care for the earth responsibly and lovingly. And verse 133. God was pleased with all He created, for He saw that it was very good. You are part of God's creation, and He is pleased with how He made you. If at times you feel worthless or little value, remember that God made you for a good reason. You are valuable to Him. And 2:3, we live in an action-oriented world, yet God demonstrated that rest is appropriate and right. If God Himself rested from His work, we should not be surprised that we also need rest. Jesus demonstrated this principle when He and His disciples left in a boat to get away from crowds. See Mark 6:31-32. Our times of rest refresh us for times of service. And that's all. But our verse is going to be Genesis 1:1. And that is, we're going to do who, what, when, where, why, what, when, where, why, and how. So let's read it. Okay? It says, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Okay? Who? God. What? Created. Heavens. And earth. When? In the beginning. Where? We don't know where. So that's going to be a question mark. Why? Okay, we can go back to the Life Application Bible. And I remember it saying something in the commentary. Because of love. Of love. And how that with his voice. Because he spoke it. But that's another question mark. So that's today's lesson. And you can take a spiral notebook like I have here. And you can do Genesis 1:1. And you can write who, what, when, where, why, and how. And that's our lesson for tonight. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you got something out of it. And we'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in to Shelley's World #1. Hit the like button and subscribe. And if you're watching this on Facebook, thank you for watching.